Hey friends, how's it going? My name's Miriam and I'm a poet and I'm sitting in an armchair, hence the armchair poet. And I wanted to share some poetry with you today. Now, as you are probably aware, it's probably week 5 or 6 for a lot of us in social isolation, and that means a bunch of different things to a bunch of different people. But I think for a lot of us, it probably just means a little bit more stress, and a little bit more weariness, and a little bit less certainty about the future, and how we do day to day and how we do week to week and month to month. And all of those are okay things to be feeling. Those are normal things to be feeling. And in the midst of feeling those very normal things, I find it helpful to remember a couple of things alongside. So I wanted to share some poetry with you that has to do with some of those things that are helpful to remember. The first is that it's okay to sit still for a while and just be in the discomfort and kind of settle with it and get a sense of that feeling and those emotions and bring it to God or sit still with the emotion. So I wanted to share a poem called Silence. And it goes like this. Shh, hush a little, quiet down, be still, and shh. Sit still for a little while. Do not fear the stillness. Inhale a breath of everyday air. Feel your lungs expand and your ribs stretch out. Let time and life wash over you, a little at a time. Sink into the sacred moment that is now. Exhale. Feel the slide of air through your throat. Let your eyes focus on what is before them. Note the sounds drifting in from outside. Children, trees, birds, or washing machines, they all make up the sound of silence. Curl up a little into a safe shape. In body or in spirit, this is a time of rest. Let your body know it and show it too. Ease your heart open gently. Sit with it open, like a flower in your palm, quivering maybe and maybe afraid and gently held. Hold it, sit with it, be still and know that he too is holding his heart open with you. Together, let your souls rest together in quiet communion, deeply breathing each other in and out as deep cries out to deep. In this sacred space of everyday silence, be still and know your God. You may have noticed that was an acrostic for silence. And if you didn't, have a seat and listen to the poem again and see if you can pick out the acrostic pieces and see if you can find some moments of silence to be still and know in your day. Now, the second piece I wanted to share was one that was commissioned by a friend of mine for his mother, who's also a friend of mine. And I wrote it about a city that I love and about all of the people who've gone ahead of me. And that's something I wanted to be thinking about these days in particular, is the fact that these may be stressful experiences or times for us, but actually there are many who have gone before us, who have gone through similar experiences, and who in their grace and their faithfulness and their resilience and their leaning into God have showed us how to do the same. So this piece is called Cobblestones, and it goes like this. Now you know there is a reason theory about the life of Jesus, which suggests that rather than the popular image of growing up as a carpenter, the original language actually speaks of the Messiah as a stonemason. This would make considerable sense of the many stone-based metaphors Jesus used in his speaking. It also gives us a different and far more graphic image of his refining work in us. Build up, break down, break up, renew. Lay the cobblestones, and so it goes. When scaling the steeply inclined hills of Istanbul's old city, no matter who you are, you will inevitably discover one thing. You are not as fit as you thought. Pause for breath, break the climb. You were. Ancient stones from ancient hands line the narrow streets, winding paths reach up and around and into weathered hills. The city stretches out of the Bosphorus tendrils of urbanization, extending away from the water. The metropolitan manifestation of the very first vertebrates that scrambled awkwardly out of the ocean to take steps on ancient dry lands. The cobblestones are sporadically dug up and repaved, of course, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. Build up, break down, break up, renew. Lay the cobblestones, and so it goes. The old buildings in the old parts of town are trellised luxuriously with ivy, creeping up or down old villas, aged and sometimes crumbling around the edges, or through the middle. Large Satellite or Turalic signs hang from creaking balconies, a tempting invitation to local Oryabunja calling to transform this old into something new. Old, new, old, new. Build up, break down, break up, renew. Lay the cobblestones, and so it goes. So much of destruction becomes painfully part of building anew. Build up, break down, break up, renew, lay the cobblestones, and so it goes. I used to pray that I'd grow like those women I knew, who walked with head high but feet strong to the ground, who laughed with depth and walked with peace. I didn't know back then that I was really praying to grow like women who had known grief. Would I have prayed for it had I known? When shit happens, said Forrest Gump, there are plenty of platitudes. It's all in God's plan. What doesn't kill you? What is God teaching you through this? Banal bromides, plastic beads of sympathy, painted fake revelry, poor imitations of real consolations, petty when thrown around the neck already noosed with grief. So at odds these fripperies, beaded trumperies with the deeper realities turned beautiful. Jewels born of jarring sorrow. There is amber warm like laughter that has tasted sadness, and ruby of blood and history shed, and sapphires like tears counted and held, and gold beaten like a grieving heart, interlaced all with luminescent pearls of laughter, gems of celebration. There is always something to smile at. These, then, the real adornments of a woman of valour. Proverbially impossible, but realized in Ruth, bitter and sweet in the end, somehow better together. Build up, break down, break up, renew, lay the cobblestones, and so it goes. I climb the steep hills of Istanbul, ancient cobblestones under my feet, carried up and surrounded by women who walk with peace, and laugh with the depth of those who have known both joy and grief, the cobblestones laid with precious gems of life and death, redeemed. Build up, break down, break up, renew, lay the jewels and the cobblestones, and so, and so, and so, pause for breath, break the climb, we go. The end. So if you are feeling that you are not as fit or as strong or as motivated or as certain as you thought and perhaps wished you were, that's okay. There are others who have gone this path before us. They walk alongside us, and there is one who journeys with us and who guides us. Remember, you are fully seen, fully known, and fully loved. I'll chat to you next time. Bye.